Kaizen, it's the word that hangs in Sean McDermott's office. It's Japanese for the meaning of continuous improvement. And Jordan Poyer actually ended up bringing this up. That was the first thing he saw from Sean McDermott in his office when he first came to Buffalo. It's actually owned by Toyota. I think Toyota was originally the founders of that word and that term, continuous improvement. So we got to talk about it here today. Welcome to my channel, Bills News Consolidated. We're in the Smoky Mountains. You can see still bringing you guys Bills news, but we got to talk about it. Continuous improvement. And Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott, we continuously improve, not only from a player standpoint, but from a coaching standpoint as well. So when coaches move on, like Brian Dable going to the Giants, we already had Ken Dorsey working in the background as a quarterback coach, getting familiar with Josh Allen in this offensive scheme, making that transition so seamless. Al Holcomb going back to that Carolina pipeline, right? Linebacker coach in Carolina, now defensive assistant for Sean McDermott after Leslie Frazier leaves. I think this really just shows the Buffalo Bills are continuing to improve. And remember, when Sean McDermott, Brandon Beane first got here, they didn't know what was going to happen. They didn't know they were going to be able to draft Josh Allen. They didn't know we were going to be able to find our franchise quarterback this quickly. And it's amazing that we found Josh Allen, how incredible of an athlete he is from the pocket. Also running it, people discount that. Josh Allen can run right through you. Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL, not only from passing, but from running, man. There's not another quarterback I would take. So we're put in this position now where the Buffalo Bills are trying to put the ball in the best players' hands, not only on our team, but possibly in the NFL, trying to win games with Josh Allen. It makes sense to have a little bit of a philosophy change to continue to evolve from a player standpoint and also a coaching standpoint as well. Now, Chad Hall ends up moving on. Our wide receiver coach moves on to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Buffalo Bills bring in a familiar coach here, coached up. Odell Beckham has a lot of players under his belt, and I think this is definitely huge. Chad Hall was a no one, and I was always concerned about that because, yes, he did play wide receiver in the league in the NFL, but he was never a coach. And I think now that we have a great coach here, just like Rob Boras, our tight end coach, this team is surrounded by great coaches. Bob Babich, a safety coach, now the linebacker coach for the Bills. You can see how well we have done with the coaches. Now it's about the players. Now it's about changing things up and adapting to this team, because now we know we have the offense to run up the score. So what does that force teams to do? Number one, it takes teams away from trying to run it, especially when you're up in a game by 2 or more possessions, right? 2 or more scores. So I think that really bends into the mold that the Buffalo Bills need to have a high potent pass rush on this defense. We need to be able to rush the passer too. It's not only about stopping the run. You have to be able to stop the run so they don't just run it and only pass it 3 times, right? Like the Patriots. But we proved that we could do that now with Von Miller, Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, Tim Settle, Greg Rousseau, Boogie Basham, A.J. Epinesa. Jordan Phillips is missing. Shaq Lawson is missing. Will they make that big of a difference? I don't know. And we could very well see them come back to Buffalo. So I think the Buffalo Bills are definitely going to be sound against the run again here in 2023. We proved that we could do it in 2022. Now, going back to that draft, the same draft that we drafted Josh Allen, we drafted Tremaine Edmonds. Tremaine Edmonds, a bigger linebacker, a little bit slower. Figured he'd hold up well against getting beat up because we didn't know what this defensive line was going to be able to do. And sure enough, Bills, I think, knowing that Tremaine Edmonds lacked a little bit in pass coverage, he maybe didn't have that splash plays and interceptions, batted balls, and pass coverage. And I think he lacked just a little bit of instincts, too, and overall speed. It just hurt him a little bit. Plus, he's got small hands. I think the Buffalo Bills would definitely benefit from a better linebacker, especially in this year's NFL draft. We plugged and played Tremaine Edmonds in this defense when he was a rookie, and that was his best year statistically. Really think Buffalo Bills, we could easily plug and play another rookie linebacker here and easily have him win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, he's surrounded by talent. Trey White, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, the first time they're all going to be back on this freaking football field back in 2023. We didn't see it in 2022. I mean, Trey White didn't come back until Thanksgiving. Micah Hyde was already out. It was just that Jordan Poyer was banged up, in and out. We just never got to see it. And we never got to see Von Miller and this defensive line and Greg Rousseau and everybody. Like, you know, week one, Ed Oliver got hurt. He hurt his ankle. It wasn't good. And then right when Ed Oliver got back, Von Miller went down with his ACL. I mean, we saw glimpses of it, but we really haven't hit our stride. And I'll tell you right now, if the Buffalo Bills are going to be healthy for 2023, like we were all other seasons other than 2022, watch out, because this team is super talented, and I am so psyched to see the future of this freaking team. Kaizen, continuous improvement, moving on from Isaiah McKenzie and bringing in Trent Sherfield and Hardy. I think those are some great moves. Those are some great moves that the Buffalo Bills basically bring in. Two dynamic skill sets here. Trent Sherfield, a physical type wide receiver, has experience playing outside and in the slot. I mean, the diverse roles, right? The roles that we ask of all these players, being cross-faceted, being able to play multiple positions, be cross-trained, right? It helps you not only be more valuable, but it also helps you understand the game a little bit better. You know, an offensive line, Connor McGovern getting brought in here to the Buffalo Bills. Another under-the-radar free agent signing by Brandon Beane. Also, I mean, a lot of prove-it type deals. Damien Harris, another prove-it type deal. A one-year deal coming in. Hardy, one-year deal, basically. We could move on from him. Sherfield, another one-year deal that we could move on from. These are prove-it type deals. We are getting the most out of every single one of these players that we bring in here. Damien Harris is here on a one-year deal, but saying how much he likes it here, how much he relates to this team, how he had to prepare every single week, and he always had his best against the Bills because he knew how tough it was going to be. Trent Sherfield, another AFC East opponent, coming to the Buffalo Bills after playing them 3 times last year, sticking with the Buffalo Bills. He knows how good of a team this team is, even with Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets and all these things. But Kaizen, continuous improvement, and that is what is making the Buffalo Bills so successful. Knowing that Sean McDermott is a better coach now than what he was when he first got here. Knowing that Brandon Beane is a better GM than what he was when he first got here. And Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, all these guys are continuing to improve. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am going to be driving down to Florida Keys, so the backgrounds are definitely going to be changing here. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit like, subscribe. Go Bills. Peace.